Jay, are you wearing your? Damn it, where's mine?
We are live.
I don't know where mine is. I don't know where mine is. Oh, we are live.
We are live. So it's on my YouTube page. Next week it'll be on the actual channel. It just YouTube wouldn't let me go live from it right away. I'll drop a link in here.
Yes, please.
You guys want to share that in your groups?
Yeah, I got people IMing me already for it.
Sure. Let's see.
Hey guys that are signing on into our channel, do me a favor if you could share this for us. That would be awesome. Because like everything that we do, we really need to hire somebody to handle the technical parts because RJ and I both suck at it. We really do. We're horrible at it.
We're live right now?
We are live right now.
Okay.
Hey, RJ.
Yo.
We're live right now.
Oh, God. How are your sales, Young?
Oh, man, they suck.
This is going to be our first guest, everyone. Young's going to be our first guest.
Hey, RJ. We're live right now, dude.
Oh, okay. It didn't even notify me on my phone when we were live.
It's because you didn't click the bell on my channel, bro.
No, I do have it.
That's what that tells me.
No, it did. I do. Look it. I'll screenshot it.
No.
All right. Let's do this.
Let's do this.
All right, guys. My bad. I'm just sharing it in a few.
Me too.
There it is. Sharing on some social media platforms. Instagram too as well. I don't even know how we're going to start this off. So how are we going to do this?
I think that we should kind of explain what the show is all going to be about, like what gave us the idea, what we want to do with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Want to start there. RJ, you start.
Okay, so the idea of the show, we're going to bring people live on the show, correct? And just kind of help them out and kind of just in a way, not just go over basics again, like show them everything from step one, like how to upload a design on merch app by Amazon, and just kind of critique their designs and their listings and stuff like that to make them better.
Yeah, basically, we're not going to do it live, so we're actually going to do it. We're going to record these just because that way we can edit out anything. I don't want people to feel uncomfortable when they come on live. It's a different experience when you're live and you can make a mistake or say something you don't want to say. So I want people to be as comfortable as possible because I want them to learn. So we're actually going to record all of them. But the idea is basically to fix small leaks, to fix the little problems on your accounts that are preventing you guys from making sales. I think one of the most consistent things that we hear from people is, it's great when you bring on this tier 12K person that's making $10,000 a month because it gives me inspiration. But a lot of the stuff you guys talk about, I can't apply to my account. So we want to take the stuff that kind of like RJ said, going back to basics a little bit, things that we consider basic, but you may not be doing because you just don't realize it's important.
Yeah, for sure. I got off a coaching call yesterday, and
Did we lose him?
RJ's Busto internet strikes again.
and she's I was like, you can start a podcast. You have a really good voice, and yeah, she just, I don't know. I kind of gave her an idea of what she was doing wrong, and I actually showed her my brand for Thanksgiving, and she's like, "Wow, you're every single shirt on the first page for Thanksgiving right now is making a sell." So I just kind of give her a better idea of how you should be designing. Her texts are a little bit smaller on the shirt, and a lot of people don't understand that you should actually be taking up the whole space of the shirt because you want that customer to kind of make that when they see the shirt design, you want that customer to stop and click through. So the chances of them clicking through and making a purchase are much higher. So a lot of people don't understand that. Very important.
Yeah, man, that's a really good point. And it is something that newbies don't understand because I don't know what the percentage is, but there's so many people who are shopping on their phones or shopping on their tablets. And that image is the first thing they see. And so you want them to be able to see the entire image that's on that shirt. if everything's small, or if you keep it in like a, like I know there used to be going around, there was a perfect spot where you should put the square for the shirt.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense anymore because it makes the image so small. That might have been okay before everybody was shopping on phones and on tablets, but anymore they see that little thumbnail, and you got to make sure that thumbnail is 90% of your design.
I agree with that 100%. It's one of the things that we actually struggle with a lot when we first started out, because my wife has a particular like design aesthetic that she likes. Like she doesn't like for the shirt to be covered in it, right? But what you like might not necessarily be the thing that sells.
Right. I learned really early on that big and bold is what was selling for me.
Yep.
And I really think it's because people can see it much better.
Yeah. And sometimes that's not always the case, but overall, I mean, I have designs, they only take up certain amount of space, but in general, you guys should really utilize that the artboard, the whole artboard.
Yeah, I've gotten to the point where I use probably 75 to 85% of it, just because I like to have it a little bit lower from the top. So it's not so high up on the collar, especially on something that's for women, So I try and keep the bottom pretty low. It with their mock-ups, the Amazon's mock-ups aren't the greatest, so it kind of looks weird on the shirt, on the actual mock-up, but on the shirts, I promise you, it comes out looking quite different.
I also feel like when you're uploading, it doesn't place the design the same place that it places it when it's it's actually live. It seems like it's a little bit lower.
It's never accurate. In fact, one of the reviews I've gotten was this lady she left a review. She's saying that she has relatively big breasts, and then the text was underneath, so you couldn't read the text. So things are never accurate, right?
We're 11 minutes in, and Young's already talking about breasts.
Breasts. Hey, what can I say, huh?
Way to start the show.
I mean, there's a reason that Young was the one with flipping everybody off in the logo.
Hey, that wasn't my decision.
Hey, just all in good fun. Like that's something that I actually want to do with the logo, kind of on a monthly basis. We're just going to change it up and throw some different things in there. We were talking earlier today, me and my wife. I've got a really good idea for the next one that's going to be really funny.
Oh, good God!
I'm not going to share it though.
Yeah, and then also too, just like even start off with basic, just like one color, all white, and then you can do like the second one just all black. You know what I mean? Just the basic text design or graphic with the text. That's what I've been noticing too as well. Like that's what's been making sales for me for Thanksgiving. Very simple, not flashy. Don't overthink it. Just very simple, bold text that takes up the whole space, and you'll start making sales.
For probably about a year and a half, that's all I did was white text shirts.
Yeah,
and they sell, but they sell.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, yeah. Now I use a lot more color, but when I was first starting out, I just wanted them to look good on the dark colored shirts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think a lot of people too, they kind of get overwhelmed when they hear like, is your design good? Like, you guys don't overthink a design. A design is very like basic. Like, and even people that, oh, he's a designer. Like, yeah, he's a designer, but I bet you his number one shirt is like a fucking simple. It's like someone can make it. It's very easy, very simple, like very basic design. So a lot of people don't understand that. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't get scared. So.
And then when you're ready, if you don't have the design skills, hire an illustrator. I mean, they're out there. I mean, I know all of us probably on this call have them that do the intricate shirts too.
And, I'm glad you brought that up, Matt, because I hear and I'm being serious here. And RJ, this is nothing personal against you, but people always want to try and find that one designer where they're paying them like $4 or $5 or $6 per design, right? And and I get it. Sometimes you're able to find that person, but typically, I would say, well, and I'll use my local illustrator for an example, right? I pay him $35 per design, and I'm sure there's people listening right now. Oh, that's way too much. But if you break it down, right, we currently have what, 6 products on that. We have what, the standard, the premiums, sweatshirt, hoodies, long sleeve, and then pop sockets. So that's 6. So you divide 35 by 6. I mean, that's what? That's you're paying you're paying just a little under $6 per product. Okay. So don't have that mindset of, oh, I'm gonna go cheap, 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 cheap. I mean, you get what you pay for.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. There was a time when that's what I looked for was cheap. Was
Mhm.
cheap, cheap, cheap. And my designer that I've had for almost 2 years now, I started out paying him $350 a design. His work is so good. I mean, I was pushing him to do a certain number of designs a week. Now I want the best quality designs, and I just pay him a salary all
Mhm.
week long. Does it drive up the cost of my designs? Sure, but it's well worth it. Well worth it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And yeah, I have no problem paying for stuff like that.
What about you, Matt?
Um,
Other Matt?
Well, yeah, I mean, our experience is a little different because my wife is the main designer. We have a couple of illustrators that do like custom graphic elements for us, but she does most of the design for us. But I think that the trend that we've all noticed, and I think that it's pretty apparent, there's a lot more competition on merch right now, and having good design is really, really important if you want to sell things. So, like, A, having something researched, understanding why it's selling, but B, also having a good design. Like, just because it's simple doesn't mean that it's not a good design, right?
Yeah. Yep. Because I like my designs like I like my women.
Carly is in the chat. She decided to visit Matt.
Oh, hi, Carly.
Nah, well, guys, I'm totally different from that. I'm all about building that relationship with of course, like there's different ways to look at it. Like you can go, people could say that you're doing the cheap way or whatever way, but dude, there's all these big ass companies that are the way they became successful was outsourcing, which was overseas. You know what I mean? I'm big on that. I'm very big on that. But I build a relationship with them and I treat them like with respect. So I'm all about that too as well. Like I treat everybody else.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. That's a very big big thing because like I said, building that relationship with the designer is very big because like if you have like a custom order, like any type of things that like I use my guy for Etsy all the time. I have custom orders come in and then I'm like, hey, I need this done by today if you can, and he'll get it done. So that's a big thing to me. But we all have different points of views, and that's why we started the show. That way we can kind of see what everybody says from different points of view. So
I think the biggest reason we started the show too was like we just want to help people, right? Like there's a lot of people that seem to be stuck at a certain level, like they can't break through it. So I'm hoping that by like helping one person and showing like what we think is affecting their account is what's going to really help other people. You're going to be able to watch these shows. You're going to be able to relate instantly. Like I do that, and now I understand why it's not working.
Yeah, and I think it's fair to say that all of us here, we get tons of questions on a regular basis, and it's and I've made a commitment to respond to every single one. But at the same time, it gets really overwhelming. So we were like, we talked, we all talked in private. And we're like, well, let's just kind of all come together and do one show and try to answer as much questions as possible. It doesn't mean, Matt and RJ, they're going to quit their podcast. Me and Glenn, we're still going to do ours. And Matt's still going to, run Mercy Design Factory. But we just wanted to do this kind of separately, aside from our other projects, just to help you guys out.
Yep, exactly. We ready to start getting some questions, guys?
yeah,
Sure.
Let's go ahead. You guys you guys have asked questions yet? We got questions in there.
We got some in there right now. We need people to keep asking them. So here's one that I don't really understand, but maybe you guys do. Have any of you had issues with first use designs? How did you handle that? You guys know what that is?
First use design?
Yeah, I don't know.
No idea.
All right. Clarify. Drop that in again, the analyst, and let us know what you're talking about. Okay. Does anyone format their listings for mobile mainly?
No, not me.
I don't either.
Yeah, I mean, mine is pretty universal. I do fill out the description, though, specifically because it's the first thing you see on mobile. You have to, when you're in the app, you have to actually click on features and details to be able to see the stuff in features and details. So I always do fill out the description, but that's about the only caveat that I make there.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I just put the bullets in the description.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Do you always list each design to all products and start with a standard shirt and then list on the rest after a sale? I think what he's asking is, do you start by listing to the standard shirt and then list to the other ones after you get a sale, or do you just list to everything?
I list everything personally. I think we're all different here. I don't know about you guys.
I list to everything now. However, I think for people that are just starting out, dude, shirts is where the money is.
Yeah.
That's where the money is. Concentrate on t-shirts.
I wouldn't list anything but shirts until you're at like tier 1K. Like I wouldn't list anything but a standard shirt until you're at like tier 1K.
Totally agree.
I was just gonna say, if you guys are on the lower tiers, definitely standards.
Yeah.
It's
where all the money is.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Yeah, for sure. Then you guys can go. Obviously, you guys can go from there. Like if you feel like it's a very good design, you're making sales, and you're consistently making sales, upload it to other products and see what happens.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is like once you start getting sales, right? Like, so say you start getting sales on a particular shirt, like instead of uploading it to all the different products, start thinking about like how you can take that design and start putting more things into that niche. Don't just make a copy of that design on a different color or something like that. Like, come up with other designs within that niche.
Yeah.
What should be our approach with Trump shirts, emoji, and do stuffs? Are they infringement or not?
Emoji, stay away from. Do not add it to any shirts. Trump shirts, do what you want. I don't do them, but if you want to do them,
but they're original illustrations. I would not just get a Trump photo and post it, because Trump is, as a president, he's a public figure, and public figures are fair game. So I would say, if you're going to do a Trump shirt, get yourself a nice illustrator, designer. Don't just use photos.
Yeah, or you can do text-based. Like, there's tons of text-based stuff out there. You know, the Trump 2020 shirts, which is a pretty full niche. But you know, if you can come up with something stupid that Donald said that day and stick it on a shirt, it's just a text-based shirt. More likely than not, it's going to sell. Political stuff on both sides of the aisle sells really well. So I'm agnostic. I tend to think most of them are full of shit, but I don't mind selling to either side. My wife and I get in arguments about this all the time.
Yeah, Twitter comes in handy for that kind of stuff, because if Trump or somebody else says something, you know, ridiculous or whatever, and it starts trending, just throw a shirt up. Why not?
Yeah.
And it could be anything. I mean, it could be like, say, I know there was something going on with unions a few months ago, so there were union shirts up and sell a couple. You know, I mean, it could be anything that's going on.
Right. So we must have some fans here for Matt Carlett or something, because we're now at 105 live on our first show, so that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Maybe just the time change.
The time change, I think,
It could be time change. Yeah.
Easier, for sure.
See, the problem is the three of these guys are on West Coast time.
Yeah.
And I'm on East Coast time, so it's almost 6 o'clock now here.
Right. I mean, that's the beauty of doing it the way that we're going to do it too, though, is because we're going to record it, so we can kind of do it whenever and then just release it in the morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't have to do it live every single week.
And by the way, I got 2 designs to give away to a couple of folks.
Me.
No, you don't.
Young, you're ineligible. All right. Tier 100 here with 52 live and 55 sold all time. What is better to focus on, evergreen or holiday designs?
Right now, holiday.
Yeah.
Get them up.
I think normally we would say, normally I would say trending topics, but because holiday is coming up here real fast, I would say holiday.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm selling.
Yeah, I mean, if we weren't like Yong said, if we like say this was January, just start doing trending topics. You want to start tearing up. I mean, that's got to be your main objective.
Yep. Oh, Kristen Harris made a good point right now too, especially because of the announcement that we had today. You can now list in both Germany and the UK. Everybody can. It's turned on for everybody. So I would throw it up on a standard shirt on all of those platforms.
Will that cut into somebody who only has 100 slots though?
That's
Will that?
True. Yeah, that is true. It will count against your tier.
Yeah, so I'm not so sure. If you only have 100 slots, I would probably stick to the U.S. because the other markets are good, but they're slower. I think I'd stick with the U.S. until you're at least at 500 or have some extra slots available.
Yep.
Yeah, and then also think about the kind of design that you guys have, right? Like if you guys have a 4th of July design, probably don't want to put it up in Germany and the UK, right? I mean, you can. It might sell, but most of your sales are obviously going to come from the US.
Sold a Happy Easter shirt yesterday in Germany.
I gotta tell you, my biggest selling shirts in the UK are like
Mexican shirts.
no, no, they're not Mexican.
Multiple Mexican shirts in the UK.
They're like United States City shirts. It's the weirdest thing.
Well, it's a travel shirt then.
Yeah, it's like a travel shirt.
Yeah. My best selling shirt for some reason right now in the UK is a Trump shirt.
They're probably making fun of him.
Yeah.
They don't like him very much.
Absolutely.
All right, so the girl boss wants to know what everyone's best advice is for people under tier 100. So everybody take one bit of advice for people under tier 100.
I think keeping prices very low until you get the sales to, you know what I mean. Don't worry about making profit. Keeping the sales very low, that way you can get the sales. Like I'm telling you guys, like if you guys put your shirts at cost, like people are going to buy them just because they're cheap. That's just how it is. A lot of people disagree with that, but a lot of those people, I'm kicking their fucking ass. So I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I personally never made a dime before I was at out of the tier 100 spot. So I agree with RJ, and I would say until you're out of 100, follow trends.
That was gonna be mine. Is just follow trends.
Yeah, holidays. I had a good one because I saw her question and I can't remember it now.
My biggest piece of advice for people under tier 100 is understand the research process, right?
Yeah.
So not just like go out there and see what's selling on Merchant Informer and see what the BSR and everything else is. Like what you should be doing right now is understanding like why are these shirts selling? So go through and look at the best selling shirts and look at what niche they're in, and then look at that entire niche and take notes on what the best selling shirts are in that niche, what the designs look like, what the colors look like, if they're selling on kids shirts, women's shirts, men's shirts, whatever. And then also take a look at the listing and see how they're writing their listings. Are they writing their listings where they're just stuffing them full of keywords? Are they writing their listings where there's a few prominent keywords in all of the best sellers? Like put the work in right now and understand why things are selling. It's really important because if you do that, it's going to help shape everything that you do going forward.
Yeah, 100%. The research is the most important thing. Like I think all of us here now, like research is the easiest thing. I know it is for me, but I spent a lot of time, like a lot of time. 90% of my time was spent on research the first year.
Yeah.
And I think learning that process is the best thing you can do with your time.
A year and a half ago. Oh, I'm sorry. Were you done?
if you're not designing.
Yeah, I was just gonna say about a year and a half ago, I would say design is really important, and it still is. But I agree. I think research is really, really important. And I actually doing more research now because again, I don't design for merch anymore. And it's fun, right? Because you get to see what's selling and what's trending and what's popping. So yeah, research really, really important.
Yeah, I think honestly, with the research too, it's actually pretty fun. I've been doing it pretty good recently, and then I have like a little private group that I've been doing. But like, there's a few shirts that I made sales. Like I barely uploaded them. I researched them about a week ago, and they made sales like 3 days later. And I showed everybody like this is exactly what I did. This like kind of like took like the long tail keyword and just kind of searched it and see how much competition was in it. And there wasn't that much competition, but like everything on the front page had a sales rank. So I actually made a few designs for that, and it made a sell. And I kind of use that as an example. So that's a very big thing. It's just less competition, and research with less competition is amazing because your chances of making a sell are pretty high when it comes to that.
Yep, that's the name of the game. Pricing strategies for new shirts. I know this kind of jumps around for all of us. All of us have different strategies here. So, Yong, how do you price your shirts?
I go low, and then once I get my initial sale, I price it to what I think is worth. In the past, it was always, pretty high, but ever since whatever Amazon did earlier this year and they broke everything, nothing started to sell. So I'm pricing low now.
Okay. RJ?
Pricing strategy. I always start low, and then I just go from there. Yesterday I almost put a shirt at $14.99. As in low, I start at $12.87. Yesterday I almost put a shirt at $14.99, and I was like, see, there you go again, RJ, trying to mix up things. Let's finish the year strong. Keep on doing what you're doing that works for you, and just keep on going. It might work different for others, so just it's all about testing too, really.
Yeah, Matt.
My son was asking me questions. I totally missed the question.
Your pricing strategy. How do you launch a shirt?
I usually start everything at like either $16.99 or $17.99, and then depending on sales, then I'll go up from there.
Gotcha. So I do a shotgun approach. So what I'll do is I'll mix up our price all the way across the niche. So I'm going to have some that are low, some are medium priced, some that are mid high, and then some that are really high. So you're kind of like, depending on what somebody's looking for, price range or whatever, you can kind of cover it. I've actually been experimenting a lot with raising prices on my shirts, and I've noticed that the stuff that has reviews, they're still selling. So like I've got a shirt that's at $21.99 right now that's got 9 reviews on it that just sells every day. That $7 royalty is really, really nice. And then the same thing with premium shirts. I price really high on the premium shirts just because, and I have no proof that this works, but it's like if it's a little bit more expensive, they'll read the bullet points. So maybe I'll have less returns. And it's nice getting, like I said, those $7 royalties on those premiums.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good though. I really haven't did that at all, but just basically just getting that first sale, and I've been testing at $15.99 and $16.99, just depending on like the trend. Like right now for Thanksgiving, I actually just messed around and put some at $15.99 and then some at $16.99, and then the ones where reviews, I kind of I'll bump them up to $19.99 when they have a review.
Yeah, I mean, I think the most important thing when it comes to price too is understand the niche that you're in, right? If you're in like a Thanksgiving or a Christmas niche that's really, really popular, dabbing Santa, it's going to be hard to charge a premium because there's so much competition there. It's easier to charge a premium when there's less competition.
Yeah, you got to really, especially for somebody who's new, know your niche. I mean, go out there and search for the shirts that if you're selling it in 1 niche, 2 niche, 3 niche, go out there and research those, see what the average price is for that niche. And I usually beat it, by like $1 when I'm first starting a shirt out. Yeah. Just to give me a little bit of an advantage. Price is such a lot, there's probably 20 people on the call that are bitching saying we're not selling our shirts high enough, and then there's
yeah, I mean that's kind of my number one complaint when
it's a personal thing.
It's my business. I'm going to run it however I want. It's your business, however you want. I mean, Amy prices really, really high, like super, super high, and does really, really well. I think there's a variety of ways to be successful with it. This is just what works for us.
Yep.
Every time you say niche, Josh Brown dies a little bit inside.
It does, man. He corrected me up in Seattle too.
I'm never going to stop saying it. And I love Josh, but I just like saying it that way. America.
Do you guys feel that text-only designs sell better?
Well, I think honestly,
it just depends. I think it really just depends. I mean, what does it say? I mean, just really depends on the niche and what it says and your font selection, the overall design. It just really depends. There's so many factors in variety.
I feel like people ask that because they want to do easy work. Okay. And hear me out. I'm not trying to be a dick saying that. What I mean is like so many new people ask, well, what sells better, graphic shirts or just text shirts? Well, you can't answer that question. I mean, literally nobody can answer that question because it's totally different. I mean, you guys know, I mean, the shit's all over the board. Unless you have all text shirts or all graphic shirts, you can't give an answer. And I think that I'm not saying everybody, but I think people want to do. They don't look at themselves as artists, and they don't want to put graphics on shirts. It's easier to do text shirts. You know what I'm saying?
I think a part of it is too, like, there's only a limited library of graphics that are available for commercial use. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like you have to go invest money in it, and that's part of the reason when people start out like they just want to do tech shirts is because they don't have to spend as much money. Because the merch community as a whole, I think we can all agree, has a tendency to be a little bit cheap. Like they're afraid to spend money on some stuff.
Yeah. No, I've been saying that for a long time, and people think I'm mean when I say that, but I'm just being honest.
Yeah, no, it's called spade a spade. I think it's the truth. I think that people sometimes are afraid to spend money, and I understand why, right? Like, let's be honest. I don't think everybody that's doing merch right now is selling 1,000 shirts a month. I think a lot of people are selling.
But this is my thing, right? I mean, and Matt, you and I, we talked about this over dinner this past week, right? Like, I think a lot of us, and this is me included, right? Like, we spend money on stupid things every day, right? Like we don't need to go buy Starbucks every day, right? Like, I'm sure a lot of us probably have Netflix or Hulu subscriptions and other subscriptions that we probably don't need in our lives, and yet you guys don't want to spend, in a good designer or buy some premium fonts because you guys don't want to spend that money. Right, I don't get that mindset. Is you guys are willing to spend money and go out and buy booze, but then when it comes to investing in a business, you guys are like, no, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the other part of it too, right? Like this is a business, and generally, when you start out running a business, you lose money. Like generally, the first couple of years, it's really hard to be profitable. Like merch is one of the few opportunities I know that instantly you can be cash flow positive. Basically, I don't think people reinvest their money in their business enough. That is one of the biggest pieces of advice I would give to people at the lower levels. Like if you're making $100 a month, like instead of taking that money and going and blowing it on dinner or whatever, like take that and invest it in like some stuff from Font Bundles or some stuff from the Hungry JPEG. You know what I mean? Like buy some products that are going to make your designs better.
Yeah, it's coming from an FBA background, I never really had that mindset that I wasn't going to spend money on my business, because with FBA, everybody who does FBA knows you're constantly putting money into your business.
Yeah.
So that you're going to have to spend the money to make any sort of money. Merch is a free platform, so people. I mean, I was guilty of it too at first, where I did everything myself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm not saying when you start out you got to drop hundreds of dollars, but
no,
reinvest your any money that you make, reinvest it in for a while. Just keep reinvesting in. Buy graphics, buy fonts, if you want to buy a designer, buy a few designs from a designer or what. Yep. Or use a company. You don't have to use my company. I don't care who you use. Just if there's something that's going to help you.
If you're getting value from this show, like use Matt's company. Like I'll prop it up. Like there's a reason that I invited Matt on, is because I know that his company produces really good quality work. Like it's stuff that actually sells. I know plenty of people that use Matt to do a lot of their designs. Like when they don't have time to design, they buy stuff straight from Matt. Like look at the comments in whenever he posts some new designs and listen to people get pissed because they sold out of the stuff.
No joke, and I'm being completely honest. I subscribe to his monthly subscription, and I buy designs from him.
Yeah,
I swear to God, you got to give me a discount though, because we're now working together. Okay. And look at me, I'm not trying to be cheap now, huh?
I don't know about that. I can't.
Now, honestly, guys, with the text-based shirts, I think it's a political text-based shirts. They do sell the most because it's making a statement. Okay, and people like to wear shirts that make statements, and that's the most important thing. So going back to that question, that's what sells the most. That's for sure. Okay, so
I think it's niche specific, right? Like,
yeah, 100%.
Anything that's like a funny saying or something like that, like, but also like some of the like more high end niches or something where like it's not for kids, right? Like it's for women or it's something like that. Like a simple, really well made text design is going to sell better than putting on a bunch of like graphics on it. You know what I mean? It just depends on what people are looking for.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
3,100 out of 4,000 designs filled. Should I be doing all products?
Wait, what was that?
3,100 out of 4,000. So he's got 3,100 slots filled up right now. Should he be uploading to all products?
With the ones that are selling, I would.
Yeah, I think just do. I would do. Oh yeah, the ones that are selling, yes, of course. But I think just do focus on t-shirts, standard t-shirts, and pop sockets. That's it.
Yeah, I would say, if you're 3,000 and you're tier 4K, right? That means that you don't have the sales basically to get to tier 6K yet. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I would focus on uploading shirts. Actually, I'm going to differ there. I think that I would upload shirts because you have a better chance of getting sales, and that's more important. So you can open up more slots. Or pop sockets. Pop sockets sell really well too.
Pop sockets.
Yeah, for sure. Anyone making sales with weed and swear word designs?
I have.
I've made some sales.
Yeah, I have. I had a few.
I mean, listen, I don't think anybody's becoming a fuck or a marijuana millionaire right now on merch.
Not selling T-shirts anyway. There's plenty of marijuana millionaires out here in California.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think we were all excited about it. I think there's a market for them. Nobody's getting rich from them, but yeah, I mean, I saw a few here and there.
More excited about not getting a rejection for shit when I forgot the R in for shirt.
It takes a special person to wear fuck on their shirt. So I think Christmas will be a good time for them because I think that they're great gag gifts.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a ton of swear word and marijuana Christmas shirts. So I mean, I think there's a market for them, but I mean, nobody's getting rich doing them.
Yeah, I think that's a really good tip right there too. Gag gifts, white elephant gifts, stocking stuffers. Like those are keywords you guys should be putting in some of these shirts because that's what people are going to search for. Do you make targeted gender-specific designs on just a women's tee, for example, or just broad generic designs for all types of tees?
I've done both. Most of it though is probably just broad.
RJ?
It's all about that comes like depending on the design. You know what I mean? I've been testing it out. You can just do it straight towards like women, but then sometimes you think about some women like to wear men's shirts. From what I've understood, yeah. I don't know. I really don't know. I tested it, and I think it's all about testing it for sure.
Matt?
Sorry, what was the question?
Do you ever make designs specifically for one gender or one size, right? So like just women's shirts or just kid shirts?
I mean, women's shirts, sure. I mean, depends on the niche, but not for size. No. I mean, well, I guess I take that back if I'm making kid shirts, but there's no I'm not making plus size designs, or I'm not making designs specific.
Plus size designs for women, unfortunately.
Yeah, that new policy that just came out, I got a rejection yesterday. I uploaded it was a wine shirt, and I actually put it to kids too, and I forgot because I was just trying to upload fast.
Yeah,
and I forgot, and I uploaded to kids, and it got rejected. And I went back and fixed it, and uploaded to women and men. So
yeah,
I did the same thing, man. I got 4 rejections yesterday, right in a row, because I was doing all the products, and
you loser.
Oh man.
Yeah. So, I mean, here's something to think about. I do think that it's not a bad idea. And here's the reason why. If you do just kids shirts, right? Like, so you've only selected youth on the box, it'll automatically put the keyword kids in front of your shirt. The same with women and men. If you just select women or just select men, it'll put that keyword in front. So it gives you an extra keyword slot. And I think for the most part, the reason that if we do a woman specific design, we'll also click men is just because the plus size shirts we don't have on merch. And some women like to wear just the men's crew shirt instead of the woman's cut shirt. I'm hoping that merch will start adding some of those plus shirts because they're really big sellers. Like people like to, there are plenty of big women out there that want to wear, graphic t-shirts and they don't want to have to wear a men's t-shirt.
I will tell you guys, I had a pretty viral shirt over Halloween when they announced that the plus size. Every other sale was plus size. Seriously, it was something that was geared towards like teachers or schools, things like that. And it all of a sudden I started seeing all these sales come in for these plus size shirts, and I was like, wow. I was just super surprised that there's a lot of people out there buying them.
Yeah, I mean that's what the reason for the longest time where we had men selected.
Yeah,
so that was a good question. Recommendations to file taxes, corporate or individual?
I think that's something you would have to go talk to your CPA.
My recommendation: go to a CPA and talk to them.
We can't legally. We can't give no tax advice.
Well, it's just not. It's not. I'm not an accountant. I'm not going to talk to somebody that does that for a living.
Take your payouts and run overseas. Get the hell out of here. Just kidding. That was an uneducated answer. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. Jeremy Vogel wants to know, how do I get on the Average Joe show? So I think that's a good question. So what are we looking for people to bring onto the show?
I don't answer it. You have to suck, first of all. I'm just kidding. Dude, like, honestly, like, I don't know.
I think
Like,
Lower-
just
lower tier.
I think what we were doing was we would post something in the group and then have people comment, and then the comment that we think is good, and if we think that you'll be a good guest, and then we'll definitely bring you on, right? Isn't that what we were doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the same secret as anything, right? Like, interact in the groups, guys. Make sure that we know what your name is, right? So I have a couple people selected already that I know that I'm going to bring on the show because, like, they've interacted a lot in the groups. I know who they are. Like, I've talked to them behind the scenes. We'll have a sign up form on the website to submit your application or whatever. You'll be able to write a little piece about why you want to be on the show. Like, put together a good reason why you should be on the show.
Also, if you want to be on the show, have a camera.
Yeah, that's a good point. That actually is a really good point. Have a webcam.
It's number one rule. No, that's another thing, guys. If you guys are like nervous about getting on the show, you guys gotta understand. Like, at one point, we all weren't that good, but then we started learning from others, and we just started learning as we went along, and now we're at the level that we are now. It's because we learned and actually interacted with people, and we communicated, network with people to make our business better. Because let's say 3 months ago, for example, I sucked at Etsy, guys. I fucking sucked. I was doing 400 in profit a month. I fucking sucked, 200. You know what I mean? Now, because I communicated with Matt and another person, now it's doing averaging over 3K a month. So you guys got to understand, just that one little, that mindset change, of understanding a business and acknowledging what you're doing, it's gonna lift you up. So we all start at zero at one time. So we got to understand that.
Yeah, and one of the things, we're not going to put you on the spot on a live show. We're going to tape these. So, I think it's going to make a lot more people want to get on because they're not going to be put on the spot. If you know what I'm saying,
right. And we have the ability to edit it too. So if you say something that and you're absolutely going to have final cut in the sense that if you say something that you want to make sure doesn't go live, I'll remove it. I don't care. Let's see.
We have a pretty good turnout. Maybe we should do something live.
Trying to understand what this person's asking. Keywords, got a niche, not a lot in it. Use the right keywords. The shirt doesn't show up. What gives? Any advice there?
Got a niche. Say it one more time.
So this question is about keywords. It says they've got a niche with there's not a lot of competition in it. They use the right keywords according to them, and the shirt doesn't show up. What gives?
There's a lot of variables there. We don't know. What might be the right keywords to you might not be the right keywords. The only thing that I can say is if there is shirts selling in that niche, if there's shirts in that niche and none of them are selling, you have your answer. Nobody's buying in that niche. If shirts are selling, go in there, see what keywords they have, and mix those into your listing. If it's still not showing up,
I think honestly with that the niche, you guys got to understand, you guys want probably maybe 5 to 10 shirts in there, because some shirts are actually being shared in Facebook groups, or they're just driving traffic to it, anything like that. If there's just one shirt in there that's making sales, most likely it's because of either they're the first shirt in there, you know what I mean? It's all about a test, testing. Yeah. First shirt in there, or they're actually driving traffic to it or something, or they bought it just for a special occasion just to wear it one time. There's all kinds of different variables.
I was just gonna say that. I was just because a shirt has a BSR, it doesn't tell the whole story.
Yeah.
Right. Like they could have had their cousin buy 2 shirts, right? And then all of a sudden you think, oh man, this niche is gonna take off. You don't know. It doesn't tell the whole story.
Yeah. For sure. What was I had a good point there, and I don't remember what I was gonna say. Oh, indexing. It might not be indexed too. You know what I mean? There's a delay sometimes between when you upload and when Amazon actually indexes things, and it might not show up. So
I was told it takes 24 hours. I don't believe that though. I think it takes at least a couple of weeks. Someone told me it takes 24. No, it doesn't. I think it takes at least a couple of weeks.
It used to be quite a while ago. You know, it would be about a week and a half, and before it would like settle down into a spot where, you know, they wanted it to be like, you know, where it would be pretty consistent. Now it's like, I mean, things have changed so much. You can't even really like pinpoint exactly what's going on and when.
On any random day, they might be testing something too and pulling down shirts and showing shirts in different spots. I think that's a question that you stop worrying about once you reach a certain point where you just have enough shirts up where it's just like, meh, it is what it is. Is Valentine's Day a valid holiday for sales? And if so, do you focus on women's designs?
I actually had a shirt that did like $900 in profit for Valentine's Day by itself. I made a video on it. If you guys haven't checked that out, it's on my YouTube channel. But actually, it was a kid's shirt. So think about it. Kids, like Valentine's Day, that's a very big thing for kids. Like I forgot what the name of the shirt. I forgot the shirt was, but it's big for kids because they go to school in Valentine's Day shirts, like "Be Mine" or something like that. Don't do that. It might be trademark. I'm not sure, but something like that.
I mean, I think RJ nailed it right there. Like Valentine's Day for shirts, like you're not buying your wife a T-shirt. Like you're not. You're buying shirts for your kids because they're going to school and they're doing the whole Valentine's thing and handing out candy or whatever. Like it's more about kid shirts. We had a really good kid shirt for Valentine's Day also.
Yeah, there's some cool like crossover shirts. You know, there was a viral shirt last year that was like a video game one, which was really cool. And that was like, that could have been guys or girls could wear it, kids or adults could wear it. It's like that type of thing. But like Matt said, I mean, if you're buying your wife a shirt for Valentine's Day, you're probably gonna have a mad wife.
No wonder I'm so single. What the hell? You're not supposed to buy them T-shirts? Damn.
Well,
does anybody use Creative Commons copyright images if commercial rights are granted?
I've never done that. I know what she's asking. I've never done it.
Yeah, I don't touch it. I know what she's asking also. I don't touch it. I just don't mess around with it. Especially because a lot of times, like I find that sites that like they say that they're commercially okay, sometimes they just rip these designs or these pictures or whatever from across the internet, and that's not necessarily the whole story. It's not the truth.
I tell everybody this, I try and keep my account the most boring fucking account that you'll ever see. Seriously, I want it to be boring subjects. I don't, not super controversial, boring stuff that sells.
Let's see. Becky Jane says, also don't say mom on a UK shirt. She says, I know I'm you, but in the UK we say mum. So there's a point. There's an idea for you guys.
See,
I did not know that.
Yeah, Zito over here. He's gonna go over here giving out some cash money.
Oh,
what?
Thanks, brother. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Let's see.
Maybe we'll split that 4 ways.
No.
It's going all into the ad budget. Graphic designer, and for this 2-month period, I've been dealing with the whole workload myself. At what point do you suggest, based on personal experience, to start using a VA?
My first month with merch by Amazon, it was so like, okay, if like a normal mine, it was negative. I think it was like negative $100 or something, $100. But you got to think of it as an investment. Okay, so the first payout was $362. I had a VA. I was working with them and trying to understand the research and the design part, and started making sales. And then the next month I was $200 in profit, but I still paid them like $400 or something like that. But then the next month I scaled up to 2,000, and then it went to 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, and then 6,000 in December 2017. And then it continued over till next year. And then that freeze happened and messed up everything. And and then it froze our ads account and messed up a lot of stuff. So I think honestly, working with the VA as soon as possible it's a very big thing. So as soon as possible, do it as soon as possible.
I didn't work with one until I had sold like 500 shirts. But I'm a little different than RJ. RJ likes to outsource right away.
Mm-hmm.
I suck at it. I'll admit it. I mean, I suck at, for my personal business, I suck at it. And so I waited. I waited until I had a bank of money.
Yeah. Me personally, I mean, I was a one-man show up until about maybe 3 months ago, and then I started doing a lot of outsourcing. Um, but but yeah, I mean, I would say, look, there's nothing wrong with outsourcing. Just, I mean, you know yourself the best, like you know your budget. Just shop around for the best VA, whether that's someone who's going to do a design or do your research. But you know your budget the best, and the beauty of this business is that I forgot who said it earlier, but there's no overhead, right? And you have to consider this, right? Imagine if you guys were doing merch and you had a physical store, right? You would have to pay for you have to pay for your rent, your inventory, the shelvings, the cash register. If you have employees, you got to pay their wages, their PG&E, their electricity. And you don't have to pay for anything here. So just, I would say, since you know your budget the best, just go out and find someone that fits into your budget and pay them.
Yeah, I mean, so here's the one bit of advice I'll give you, and this is why I think maybe the way that Matt did it is the way that I think that most people should do it. Anything that you're turning over to a VA, you better understand forwards and backwards how you want it done and what you want done. If you're starting off right away and you want to outsource things right away and you don't know these things and you're depending on somebody else to do it, it's probably not a good recipe. So just make sure that you understand what you're turning over to somebody else.
Yeah, for sure. I think, well, that too, like we can go on and on about this. Like I said, it's very important to build that relationship. Very important, because like you can work something out. You never know what you can work out. Like you talk to the VA, because sometimes some of them are just about getting that money real fast and leaving and go on to the next job. But if you kind of talk to them, talk about long term, I'm always big on that long term. You can work out some type of deal where you might even split the royalties with the actual individual. But
take care of them,
you can do something like that. So, but you gotta build that trust though first, because most of them won't do that. But once you build that trust, then it's different.
Yeah, talk to them like they're people. Talk to them they're like they're real human beings.
That's a big issue, man. And people need to understand that they're actual people. You're supporting. They're doing a job for you that's supporting their family. So, like, if you treat them well, they're going to give you the best work.
Mm-hmm.
You need to think of it as your responsibility to almost feed their family. So you want them to do the best job for you that they can. So you want to make sure that they're happy all the time. You got to treat them. I mean, they're people. You don't just treat them like people. They are people. I mean, they're just, just treat them how you would treat anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I completely agree. I think it makes a big deal, especially having worked with a lot of VAs. Like you hear really quickly when you just treat them like they're a normal human being. Like you have an interaction with them, you talk to them, ask them how their day is going, ask them how their family's doing. It goes a long way.
And respect their beliefs, because we're dealing with a lot of people who are they have different religions than us and things like that. Constantly, they're telling me, "Hey, can I have this day off because I'm doing this for my religion?" Of course, 100%. Like family always comes first. Your beliefs come first too. Your beliefs aren't the same as mine. We might not have the same religion or whatever, but if there's something important to them, it should be important to you too, to give them the flexibility.
Agreed. Ollie asks, guys, my designs get a sale as soon as I post them, and they just stop. What am I doing wrong? You guys deal with this at all?
It's happened a few times. You're doing nothing wrong. That's just how Amazon is.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I would say consider what your pricing is, right? So, like, depending on what your pricing strategy is, if you're priced low and you get a sale, and then when you raise the price, you're not getting sales, just test the price, drop it back down, see if that causes it to, get a spike in BSR, get shown a little bit more. Just play around with that stuff.
Maybe you're an evergreen niche. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, my goal has always been to make t-shirts that sell 2 or 3 times a month, maybe once a month, but they sell every single month. So, figure if your niche is evergreen, maybe you're only going to get a couple sales per month.
That's another thing though too. Like a lot of people don't understand is it's like, well, with the pricing low strategy, I don't mind it making 4 or 5 sales and then raising the price. You guys got to think about with the algorithm, each keyword is ranked differently. So once you get 2 sales with that keyword, it's going to rank much higher. But then if you have it ranked, if it gets 1 sale and you raise the price, it's not going to rank that high. But if you got 3 or 4 sales with that one keyword, it's going to rank significantly higher. So when you raise the price after 4 or 5 sales, your chances of getting a sale at $17.99 are going to be higher if you have 4 or 5 sales. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree.
If it makes you feel any better, I have one design right now. I sell maybe 2 or 3 every year. That's it.
Let's see it. Let's see it.
I have plenty of those, man.
Yeah,
exactly.
And guess what? They've sold every year, a couple times a year for 3 years. So it's like there's still that little asset out there that still makes me money every single year.
Yep.
Let's see. I lost my place. I'm trying to. Yong, how is Tinder dating going?
Grindr's working out better.
I bet it is. RJ's got a lot of experience with that.
Oh, God. Yeah. Here you go.
In fact, I was checking out RJ's profile, and I clicked on the heart. He never responded.
Yeah, right.
He never responded to my freaking heart.
It's crazy how that's normal. That's normal nowadays. Like 2 years ago, I was like, no, I'll never get on there. And then everybody's doing it now. It's like, dude, for real? Okay, all right, I guess. But now I respect it now. It's like I'm not on it, but I respect it. I'm trying to make a fake profile, neither for me, neither Young.
What do you think a reasonable goal for your first year?
I have plenty of pictures of you, man. I'll
Back to the questions. What do you think a reasonable goal for your first year or per month in the beginning?
My first year, I did 27,000 in 6 months.
Okay, so is that a reasonable goal?
Not. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Reasonable goal probably be maybe 15 to 20.
Yeah, maybe
a little bit lower, maybe 10.
RJ's a hustler, man, and that's how I met RJ, is because I saw him in the groups and I realized he was hustling, and I actually reached out to him because I was like, hey man, let's talk, because I liked what he was doing. I just thought that he was actually, there's a lot of people that'll do it, for a month, won't have any sales, and then they hit the road. But RJ was really hustling to make it a business. So he's a different breed than a lot of people.
I don't. Go ahead, Matt. Sorry.
I don't think that 27,000 is going to happen for everybody. I would say you should be happy with 10 to 20 sales a month for several months now, if you're just starting out. Well, it's a different game now.
When RJ made that 27,000, merch was completely different. They've made it harder. There's a lot more competition.
Yeah.
But I don't think money should really be. I think your number one goal should be just getting tiered up.
Yep.
I think that should be your goal, is to get tiered up to 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, and then once you're on the higher tier, now you can start thinking about money. I think right now, if you're in the lower tiers, your goal should be to get tiered up.
And there's going to be a certain. Sorry, Matt.
No, that's okay, man.
There's going to be a certain percentage of people who disagree with that. Say, oh yeah, you should make money right off the bat. I don't agree, man. Like, know the business. It's a business. Figure out the business first, and then start making it work for you, and then start making money.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the variable that really matters, I'll be honest with you, because this is a question that it has a lot of depends to it. It depends. It's talent, right? So just because you just got on the platform, you don't know anything about design, you're just learning about merch, everything else, your goals are going to be very different than somebody that understands design, is a very good designer. Because RJ made $27,000 the first year he was on the platform. We know somebody that made well into the 6 figures the first year they were on the platform. It comes down to talent. Some people are going to just be a lot better at this than everybody else.
And that's another thing too, guys. I thought I was doing good, and then all of a sudden, the other guy comes in and messages me. He's like, "Thank you, RJ. Check this out." And I was like, "Fuck you." You know what I mean? Sorry, guys, for that language, but I was just like, "Man, what the hell? It made me look like shit." But it was pretty cool though, and it's pretty exciting to see people that are accomplishing things, and that's another thing that we want to do with the show too, is help people out, because it's pretty cool. It's frustrating sometimes, but at the same time, you went in this mindset of we started doing the show because we want to help others out. So that's a big thing. So
exactly. Let's see. Just trying to go over some of the questions. What happened to merch collab? Did anyone get accepted and make a sale? Is there a reason we don't talk about merch collab?
There is a reason, because Amazon said don't talk about it.
Yeah. Really hard time understanding that. It's like literally every email they send out, confidential, do not talk about this. If you talk about it, it might result in your account getting suspended. So we don't talk.
There's people making sales. I mean, there are.
Look at, dude, just go to Merch Informer. Look at Merch Informer, look at the results, and look at see official whatever t-shirt, right? Like that's a collab shirt. Is it important to put your brand name on title?
No.
I agree.
I've never put my brand name on the title.
I've never done that either.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's more of a like an FBA thing, right? Like if you're selling and you have like a known and recognizable brand like Nike, then having it in the title makes sense. Other than that, like no. Yeah, I agree, Jeremy. They need to make more plus sizes for us. God damn it! I hate when you scroll and then like you lose your place. Son of a bitch. Oh well, I'm just gonna start here. Okay, so I think all of us are on Etsy right now. How many products on Etsy do you guys have right now?
I have 500.
Okay.
Give or take.
RJ?
I have, I think it was like 944.
I have like 350.
Yeah, we're somewhere around 300, 350, somewhere in there. Etsy is much more a quality game than a numbers game to me. I think that people that are loading like 5,000 items into a shop, like you make it really difficult for customers to find any of your stuff. It's a bad experience. I'm going to try and keep most of the stuff about merch today, guys. We'll definitely do some Etsy episodes just because I really like Etsy. I'm doing a lot of stuff on Etsy, but right now I'm going to try and keep most of this to merch. And let's see. Amy Nicholas has a good point too. Make sure to pay your team Christmas bonuses early too.
Yes.
Big thing, especially if you have Filipino designers.
Yeah, Philippines, they get a whole extra month. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but it's called 13th month. So if you have them, give them that money. But Christmas bonuses are a big deal for them.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't have any VAs in the Philippines, but I know that they're hardworking individuals. Like I've been to the Philippines twice now, and I know that they're very proud. They want to work. So yeah, definitely take care of them.
For sure. Let's see. How do you find good designers and VAs?
That's I've seen that question.
That's a question for RJ.
That's a very hard. You're not gonna find, like, you're not just oh look at this is awesome VA and he's gonna work with me. No, it don't work like that. You got to be like, honestly, like I said, I got off of a call with one of my VAs, my illustrators yesterday, and I told him, dude, I was like, dude, thank you, I appreciate you. You're awesome. You're badass, and like you're very talented and stuff like that. Like the way you talk to him is like a big thing. But to find a very good VA, it's not gonna be easy. You gotta search.
And it's a lot of trial and error, man. You're gonna go through, when you designer, because I own a design company. I mean, we have hired and fired designers lots of times. I mean, it the process is daunting. It is, but I mean, it's just like anything else. It's trial and error.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. People expect to be good at the process, like right off the bat. Like, there's some magic advice that we're going to be able to give you that's going to make you awesome at it. And I suck at it still. Like, I do too. I suck at it. Like, I do. I've gotten better at it. I understand like how to communicate better. I'm actually better at it in real life. I've had a lot more experience firing people in real life. For some reason, just doing it over like Skype is a lot harder for me. But I think it's one of those things that you just have to do, because there's going to be like situations that are different across all of the different things, and you just have to go through it.
Yeah, for sure. It's like it's not easy. It's not easy. But it's once you find that real good VA, it's fun. Or designer, illustrator, whatever. It's fun. It's real fun, because then now you're focusing. Like, I'm more focused on research than anything right now, and it's fun because I enjoy doing research. I get to enjoy what I do, and I don't have to worry about designing or nothing like that. So that's a very big thing when it comes to scaling a business too as well.
Yep, for sure. Fernando, I don't know what your question is. Sorry, bud. Why do so many bestsellers don't have anything in their description, just title and the name?
That's a really good. Like I've been doing the research too, and I've been seeing that a lot. Honestly, like the design and the title is bringing the traffic to it.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, if he's talking specifically about the description for Amazon, Amazon doesn't really index the description, right? Like it doesn't really matter, but it does matter for Google. Google indexes everything. But yeah, like on Amazon, the description, you can put 5,000 characters in there. They don't index it. Ariel, he says, agree, you make us happy with that 13th month. He says, even for a Filipino, it's hard to find good Filipino VAs. Ariel crushes it, by the way. We really do need to talk to him at some point. He's in Australia.
Oh, cool.
Let's say 2 or 3 more questions, guys, and then we're going to go ahead and call it. It's been a fun first episode. We've got a lot of people on here.
Yeah, everyone that's hopped on too. We also have our research that me and Matt do right there in the description, and then you can also check out the merch design factory right there down below, and then Yong's typography book. We had to get those
typography books that he didn't give me the link to, so I'll include that after we're done with this.
You sent the link to us hella late.
It's all guys. I had a conversation with you today at 11 a.m. Send me that link so I can include it. Did I get it?
We sure did talk at 11 a.m. Didn't we?
I'll send you my link. What up? I'll get it for you right now.
RJ wants that affiliate money.
Affiliate. Here we go.
Hey, let's give a design to the guy who gave us $30.
Oh, that's Yazid.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool that he gave $30. I'll give him a design, man.
There we go. Yazid, message Matt after the show. Do we want to do the other giveaway right now?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's get that out the way because
you guys pick one. Pick somebody.
Let's pick a number like we did with Anthony.
All right, we're gonna let's do that. Okay.
Write something down.
We're gonna do 1 through 50. Someone who's picking the number right in here.
Yong, you're picking the number.
So 1 through 50.
Yeah, write it down.
Write it down, Yong. So 1 through 50, we're picking a number, and you guys go ahead and in the chat right there, go ahead and start picking the number away. Go ahead.
Write it down. I have it in my head, man.
Okay.
All right.
Give it. Look in the chat. There's 3, 45, 8, 5, 43.
Okay.
7.
Kim Friedrich already won.
Winner. Kim.
We got a winner.
Right off the bat.
Kim, message me after the show.
Like this, man. We're eye to eye.
We're gonna have people like typing in numbers for the next 2 minutes now. Still going. Let's see. Richard Jimenez has a question. Did we pick out a date for MerchCon, RJ?
No, we haven't. Right now, a big thing for us right now is focusing on our because we actually do merch and all that stuff too as well. Right now, we're just trying to get past fourth quarter, and we really haven't talked about it too much. But we don't have a date.
Got to figure out what we're going to do with it too. So we're having that conversation pretty much weekly, but we need to get through some stuff first.
We're going to dress up like other merchers and stuff like that, like cosplay.
All right, last question for Eric Rosner. Merch predictions for 2019.
Oh God, Eric Rosner.
Is your boy?
Huh?
Is your boy?
Dude, that freaking guy texts me 50 times a day, every day. Remember when we were having dinner, man? He was blowing up my phone, Matt.
He had things he wanted to know. What's your predictions for 2019? Answer the man's question.
New products. I think we're going to have some new products.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't really, honestly, I really don't know anything yet. But I don't know. I don't really
know. 2 things: new products. The other one is advertising. I think everybody's gonna want to hop on advertising. I think it's going to be important over the next year.
Yeah, I would say that's true. You're definitely going to want to understand that. I think that my prediction actually is shipping time. It's going to continue to drop. We're getting shirts really, really quickly now, and that's definitely a priority for them. They want to get things out quicker. So
I don't have a prediction, but one thing I want to see is I would love to see like a monthly subscription fee, kind of like the Solo Central account, because
I
that
know,
will
man.
out to good and bad players. I would love
I so wish that they do that. If they charged $40 a month like they do for
Solo Central.
FBA for a pro account, it would eliminate so many hassles.
Yeah, I would love to see that. Don't know if it's going to happen.
We just pissed off 90% of the audience, but I don't care.
We'll never watch the show again.
Trump. Trump. Yeah, I think shipping times are very important. I think that'll be awesome. But I don't know. We'll see. That'd be a good prediction.
I think that's a good way to end the show. I want to say thank you to everybody that showed up for the first show. Next week, it will actually be on its own channel. I'll post a link in the group so you guys can subscribe and hit the bell. And we are going to be doing our first show with an actual average Joe next week also. We talked about this behind the scenes. We picked out the person that we're going to do the first one with, Adam Yong. I haven't seen him in chat. It might be early for him. But he was the one that actually gave us the initial idea in terms of the show. So we decided that we'd like to start it off with him. And we'll release it on Friday every single week, guys. Thank you for joining us. This was awesome. We had a lot of people here.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It was awesome.
Thanks, guys. Thanks so much for the support.
All right.
All right.
See you later, guys.
Yeah.
See ya.